The Arizona Cardinals have a two-faced schedule in the 2026 season, but I have a hard time believing that they're going to make their own luck. Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Cardinals, Alex Clancy here. The schedule release video blunder. What a surprise. We'll discuss that in the final segment. I got what I wanted. And yet, yikes. But the two-phase schedule. First 8 weeks, gauntlet. Last 6 weeks, light. And light is loosely defined with the Arizona Cardinals because they're an underdog in every single game. Okay? So it's not like at least they got a couple games they can win early. They got a backloaded schedule of games that every single Arizona Cardinals fan who wants them to have the number one overall pick is going to be on the edge of their seat because those games are going to be close and the Cardinals are going to probably win a couple games down the stretch. That'll probably knock them out of first overall contention. But let's talk here before we even get to the schedule. The Arizona Cardinals are not going to get the number one overall pick. Let's just say it now. It's going to be fine. It's going to be top 5, top 7. There's 7 or 8 quarterbacks that are going to go. It's going to be fine. And then for all those Carson Beck truthers out there, maybe they already have theirs. In the I have no idea what the hell's going to happen 2026 season, let's just hold hands across America and say, Cardinals probably aren't going to get the number one overall pick anyways. So let's hope for some wins. Hope for some. Okay. For those who didn't see, I'm going to pull the graphic up. This is from Arizona Sports 98.7 in Phoenix. I do not want to take credit for this. It's they put this on their Twitter account. So for those who didn't see last night, this is how the schedule goes. Week 1 on the road against the Chargers. Week 2 at home against Seattle. Week 3 on the road against San Francisco. Week 4 on the road against the Giants. Week 5 at home against Detroit. Week 6 on the road against the Rams. Week 7 at home against Denver. Weeks 8 and 9 on the road against Dallas and Seattle. Week 10 at home against the Rams. Week 11 on the road at Kansas City. Week 12 at home against Washington. Week 13 at home against Philly. 14 is bye week. Week 15, Jets at home. Week 16, Rams, Saints on the road. And then week 17 and 18 at home against the Raiders and the 49ers, respectively. 4 out of the first 6 games on the road. 4 out of the last 5 and 6 out of the last 8 at home. I've never seen anything like this before. It's the craziest thing. It is so two-faced that you go through this, oh my word, gauntlet. Chargers, Seahawks, 49ers, Giants, Detroit, Rams, Denver, Dallas, Seattle, Rams, Kansas City. Those are the first 11 weeks. Maybe you can get a win on the road in New York. But all the rest are playoff teams and then Dallas. And I mean, Kansas City's always a playoff team. I count Kansas City as a playoff team every year with Patrick Mahomes. So when you look at that first part, you're trying to find a win or two. And then on the back end, weeks 12 through 16, they have 5 home games out of 6. And not including their bye. And they go on the road to NOLA in week 16 to play New Orleans. Like, I feel like what the scheduling committee did, I did a whole show yesterday before the release saying, oh, you know what? The scheduling committee is doing the Cardinals a favor. No primetime games. No international games. No Christmas games. No Thanksgiving games. I'm not saying they'd play on those Thanksgiving or Christmas games. They're marquee games. No Thanksgiving Eve games. No Martin Luther St. Patrick's Day games. 4th of July games. Nothing. So then the schedule comes out and it's like, oh my mother. I feel terrible for Arizona Cardinals fans for the first 3 months and myself. But at least you're going to get to see right away what this team is. Right, like what the first iteration of the Michael LaFleur team is. You knew the Cardinals were going to play all these teams, so it's not a surprise that the schedule is difficult. There are some winnable spots, some winnable games, but I feel like the scheduling committee is like, let's give them the first overall pick and then rip it away from them. Let's just rip it away from them. And it's not fun. The release was not fun. Because like you kind of look, it's like, okay, so boom, boom, boom. Okay, you got the NFC West games early, okay, cool. And then you're like, and then when do they play home games? When do they play home games? The perks to this are, and it's not really a perk, but seeing Seattle twice and the Rams twice, both before week 10, is diabolical. And it's diabolical. And I've alluded to this throughout this process. You got no tape on Michael LaFleur's offense. And while this seemed like it may be reaching, it's like, oh, well, that's a positive. You saw it with the Jets. It wasn't great. Okay, this isn't the Jets. This offense, you could argue that I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Let's just take that back. Edit that out. I'm not going to edit it out. When you don't have tape on an offense, you've got no idea what the tendencies are. He's never run a competent offense with an actual good skill position group. He knows the ins and outs of McVay's offense. I'm sure he's going to tweak a bunch of it. It wasn't his offense. And the less tape you have, the more element of surprise you can provide. Probably not in week 10. First 4 or 5 weeks, sure. First 4 or 5 weeks, sure. I want to see it all early. And I'll talk about in the second why, like, I got what I wanted, but yikes. This is like playing Madden on all Madden and then playing Madden on easy against a toddler. And not saying the Cardinals are going to run off 5 or 6 wins to end the year. Even though the huge disparity between road games and home games, this is probably the most difficult it could be with the difficult schedule the Cardinals knew they were going to get. I mean, you're playing against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 out of the first 10 opponents are playoff teams from last year, outside of Dallas and the Giants. They got the Harbaugh system with the Giants now. The Cardinals always kind of played Detroit tight at home. I mean, it was a one-score game a couple years ago, and they ended up losing. But we're going to find out quickly, right away, immediately, how far behind the curve the Arizona Cardinals team is, and especially how far behind the curve the offense is. So, in a 2026, who the hell knows what's going to happen season, you may as well do it this way. You may as well do it this way. It wasn't going to be ideal regardless. They've got an incomplete roster regardless. They've got a first-time head coach regardless. They don't know who their quarterback is for the future regardless. They drafted a running back at number 3. So obviously this roster wasn't going to be complete. And now they're going to be under the brightest of lights right away against some of the best that the NFL has to offer. Immediately. And we knew it was going to happen because we knew the opponents were going to be. But this stack, the first 2.5 months of the season, is diabolical. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. I got what I wanted, but what do I mean? I'll tell you next. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by Kalshi. The 2026 NFL schedule release is here. And now you can trade every game on Kalshi. Schedule releases always spark debates. Who's overrated, who's got a brutal stretch, and which teams are actually playoff contenders. And Kalshi lets you trade on those predictions in a live market, from total wins to playoff chances and championship futures. On Kalshi, you can trade on real NFL questions like whether a team makes the playoffs or reaches a certain win total. As the season outlook changes, you can buy in or out of your position live. And it's available in all 50 states, so it's easy to jump in and follow along all season. For example, if you think a team is set up perfectly for a playoff run, you can actually trade on that prediction before the season even starts. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. Trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code LOCKEDON to get $10 when you trade 10, Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything. Please go to the YouTube channel, search Locked In Arizona Cardinals. Hit that subscribe button, man. Inching closer to 5K. Thanks to everybody who's been around. If this is your first listen to Locked On Cardinals, maybe make tomorrow your second, or Monday your second. If you've been around since day one, the P1s, thank you. Going into year 10, it's just absolutely unbelievable. I got what I wanted, but yikes. For those who didn't watch earlier in the week, I said the best case scenario is for the Cardinals to get very difficult matchups early and the easier, quote, easier matchups late. And I am not the point where it's like, oh, hey, yeah, let's flirt with the first overall pick for 12 weeks and then ruin it by winning 2 games late. That wasn't the reason for it. The reason for it was, as I stated last segment, I want to see what this offense is right away. You bring in a first-time head coach who's going to run an offense that has had wild success with the tributaries and the branches of this, Mike Shanahan tree. You drafted Jeremiyah Love. You drafted Chase Bisontis in the second round. You've got Trey, you've got Marv, you've got Michael Wilson, you've got Jacoby Brissett. We'll see. I want to see it right away. But, man, oh, man. It's kind of flirting with, can he get fired after 1 year? Can he? What if they start 0-11? What if they start 0-11 and the offense looks really bad, regardless of who you're playing on defense? Regardless of whose team's defense you're playing against. What if they start 0-11 and they win 3 games on the tail end and they get the 3rd overall pick? I don't think he can get fired in 1 year. I use this term already. The diabolic nature of firing somebody after 1 year means that this has to be worse than the 2018 season. And I don't think it's ever possible to be worse than the 2018 season. Especially for the fact that one of my favorite stats to use on the show, not because it's good, is the Arizona Cardinals in 2018 scored less points per game than the Detroit Lions in the 2008 Detroit Lions, who went 0-16. 14.1 points per game. 14.1 points per game in 2018. It's not going to be that. They're going to score significantly more than that. But I got what I wanted, but the but is the stakes feel higher for the first 2 months than they did before the schedule release came out. This is not a balanced schedule. This is oil and water. And the water could be poisonous. This is absolutely mayhem. It's mayhem how they did this. It's mayhem. And yeah, things could change. San Francisco could fall off. The Cardinals could get a win against the Giants and start 2-2. And then we're having different conversations. One thing that I'm not in is the camp saying, the Cardinals are going to go over 11. Oh, I don't see a win. We have no idea what the schedule is going to shape up to be. It's a very difficult schedule. I feel like the Cardinals are going to be significantly better than people think, but the ceiling is obviously a lot lower than most other teams. I think it's fair. I got what I wanted, but the tick, tick, tick on Michael LaFleur's tenure could be faster right away because of it? I don't think so. But if they start 0-11, they start 1-10, it's like, yeah, it's a bad roster. No, it's not. This is not 2024. That's the big thing here. This is not 2024, where they had 50% turnover and Josh Dobbs was their quarterback after being here for 2 weeks. This is not that. They won games early. They should have won significantly more in the 4 games that they won. But that roster pales in comparison to how good this roster is. And I think there's always one team every year that people just write off because everybody says, the Cardinals are going to suck. The Cardinals are going to suck. Listen, they're not going to win 10 games. Probably not going to win 7. But I don't think that regardless of how difficult the first 2.5 months of this season is, I don't think they're a lay-down team by any stretch. I don't. I could be wrong. I've been wrong once before, I think. Once. Maybe once. I'm not sure. Maybe once. But this is the vacuum to what I wanted. Front end difficult, back end easier. But they went full go. They went full send. Split it down the middle. Impossible. All home games. What? Impossible. All home games. Excuse me? Did you shuffle the deck? Or do you just open the deck and it's ace through king, whichever suit, back to back to back? What? And I'll be doing, next week, we will be doing, I'm not sure if I'm doing game by game breakdown or I'll be doing clump by clump, like month by month. But yikes. This is going to immediately put the Cardinals on a high alert that this offense has to be ready week 1. And I haven't mentioned anything about the defense yet. I know this offense needs to be the anchor. If we're seeing a world, regardless of who those opponents are, and the defense is holding their weight and the offense isn't, the only I'm not doing this. The only way Michael LaFleur can get fired really is if they win one game and they score like 18 points per game, which would be insane. It'd be aliens. It's impossible. It's impossible. So I'll leave it at that. You know, just like I had to do like a quadruple take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of their first 9 games are on the road. 6 out of the first 9 games are on the road. And 3 of those games on the road are against division opponents. So, glass half full, ain't got a lot of film. Glass half empty, 2 of those guys that call the plays in the NFC West, Michael LaFleur learned from. So, not fantastic. I still believe, it doesn't matter where the schedule landed. It doesn't matter where the schedule landed. They're going to have to play tough teams. We knew that. The NFC West is really good. We knew that. Got a first-time head coach. We knew that. Didn't really know who the quarterback was. We knew that. This could be looked at as like fear-mongering, where the counter's like, hey, we gave you, a boatload of games at home at the end of the year to ruin your chance of the number one pick. Thank you, NFL. And then before we go, week 14 bye week is just worst case scenario. Scariest environment imaginable. I don't know how it's even possible to have a week 14 bye week. I don't think there are any teams that have a bye in week 12. Can the Cardinals just jump in there? 14? Said on the show, I want it just give me 6, give me 8. I don't care. They need a beat. But the one thing that they have in their favor, even though week 14 is like, I don't understand. I don't understand why they added. I don't understand. I can't wait for the day when they add an 18th game where they go to 2 bye weeks. They got to do it. They've got to do it. These guys are human beings, man. So week 14, we'll talk to Jeremiyah Douglas, my co-host on the Cardinal Squad show tonight about it, who played in the NFL for almost 10 years. Like the week 14 bye week it's over 3.5 months of football before you get a bye. But the one thing they have going for them is they don't have any primetime games. So there's no short weeks. They've got the circadian rhythm. Of course, they got to travel a lot in the first handful of the year. But Sundays. And people say that that's not a big deal. It's like, oh, whatever. Like, good teams, it doesn't matter. You go play on a Monday, you go play on a Sunday at midnight, it doesn't matter. It's like, true. The Cardinals aren't that right now. They need as much going for them as they can have. They have to know international games. They don't have to travel much, except for, week 4. They're getting that travel out of the way, except for week 16, they go to New Orleans. But it's still the central time zone. They're not going all the way to the East Coast. So they have that circadian rhythm. Every Sunday, they're playing football the entire year. Like, it seems like it's not a big deal. I would venture to guess it's much more of a big deal than having to plan a short week at any point. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Surprise, surprise, Michael Bidwill ruined the schedule release video. We'll discuss it next. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs, full swing, man. Every possession matters, and if you're looking to get even closer to the action, FanDuel has a great offer to get you started. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. I like using FanDuel during the playoffs because everything I need is right there in one place. It's so tight with OKC and San Antonio, and you've got Detroit and Cleveland on the other side. It's going to be fascinating to see who's going to be holding up the trophy at the end of the year. And if you need help, you can check stats, trends, and matchups before making your picks, which makes the whole experience feel a lot more informed. And whether you're looking for player props or just following your favorite stars, it adds another level of excitement to every game. It's a really great app to navigate, super easy, and it makes playoff basketball even more engaging from start to finish. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. Today's episode is also brought to you by Rocket Money. If you've ever opened your bank account and thought, where'd all my money go? Well, you're not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills can get overwhelming fast, and that's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. It tracks all your subscriptions in one spot and can help cancel the ones you don't need with just a few taps. It automatically categorizes your spending also, so you can actually see where your money's going, and you can set budgets, get alerts, and stay on top of upcoming bills. It just makes everything feel more organized and gives you a clearer picture of your finances day to day. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Just join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. YouTube channel, subscribe, Big Dumb Face every day. Cardinal Squad Show today at 4 o'clock Arizona time. The next time you see me, I will be back home with my normal background. I've spent 6 weeks on the road. It's been awesome, but I'm ready for my red and black foam background again. The schedule release video blunder was a sham. So for those that haven't done this yet, I would suggest going on Twitter and just searching Los Angeles Chargers schedule release video. Okay. They're the belle of the ball. I know the Colts were ranked out ahead of them this year. I disagree. For those that played Halo growing up or in high school, as a kid, high school, college, whatever, it was college for me. They did a whole Halo themed schedule release video. They eviscerated the Cardinals where they highlighted 10 open casitas on game day because nobody's going to buy that damn thing that Michael Bidwill thought was a good idea. The Arizona Cardinals decided to take the mascot and make an AI a schedule release video. No humans. It looks like Michael Bidwill said, hey, I forgot we have to do this. ChatGPT, make a 5-minute schedule release video featuring the mascot. Beep, boop, boop. Post it. The social media team, I don't know if they're like in handcuffs and Michael Bidwill's making them do things on like choosing like, well, it's got to be this graphic. It's got to be this graphic. It's got to be this graphic. Or if they actually have creative control. And if they have creative control, what the hell are we doing here? Every time the Cardinals have an opportunity to play well to the fans, they bungle it. Every single time, they bungle it. It's not hard to make your fans feel important, and yet they continue to stumble and struggle. What Michael Bidwill should have done was go into ChatGPT like he probably did and said, hey, make a 5-minute schedule release video that's good so my fans don't hate me. Probably should have done that. That would have been more beneficial. And this isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things. It's probably not social media's fault, the social media team's fault. It's the organization. Just when it's like, okay, you got something to be excited about. You drafted Jeremiyah Love. The offense is looking pretty good. You got a first-time head coach. This offense is going to be good. You drafted Carson Beck. Maybe he'll be good. You're going to have a top 7 pick next year. You're going to get a quarterback. Let's move in the right direction. This is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr.'s breakout year. And then you just get a reminder. I talk about this on the show once every couple months. It's like, oh, yeah, Michael Bidwill did something again. Whoops. Back down to earth. Back down to earth. And I feel for the fans, man. I feel for you guys. It's tough. It's hard to be positive about things when you constantly get reminded of who's writing the checks. And it's probably not his fault either. He's just not a football guy and he just doesn't get it. He's just in the clouds. He's just in the clouds. But it's just a reminder. It's like, man, I'm sure they had, a week where they knew what the schedule was. You got a week to put something together. It's just tough, man. It's just tough. But overall, going back to actual football, the two-phase schedule it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be fascinating. Reminder, I'm just going to do this one more time. I'm just going to rip it through. At Chargers, home Seattle, at San Francisco, at New York, at home against Detroit, on the road against the Rams, at home against the Broncos, on the road against Dallas, and then on the road against Seattle, at home against the Rams, on the road against the Chiefs, at home against Washington and Philly, at home against the Jets, on the road against New Orleans, and then at home against Vegas and the 49ers. 4 out of the first 6 games on the road, 4 out of the last 5, and 6 out of the last 8 at home. The offense needs to be good right away, or this could get very ugly. I think the offense is going to be well more prepared than people think. I think they're going to be competing in these games. I think the lack of tape is going to help. I think they're going to New York. That could be a win. They could eke out a win against San Francisco. San Francisco is not like this world-beating team anymore. Sure, they've got Christian McCaffrey. The Cardinals almost beat him week 3 last year. So while this is not doom and gloom, it's gloomy, but it's not a death sentence like people think. I don't think the Cardinals are going 0-11. They're going to get some wins early, I think, even though the opponents look daunting. And I think the Cardinals still end with 5 or 6 wins this year. Locked on Cardinals, your team every day. Big breakdown all next week. Cardinal Squad Show today at 4 o'clock Arizona time. Remember, without you, there is no me. I'll talk to you today at 4.